What's going on YouTube? Now when it comes to luxury SUVs, the prices have seemingly increased into the stratosphere.
And that's why having value-oriented models like this 2024 Acura RDX is such a welcome change.
So, with new standard super handling all-wheel drive, is this the best combination of luxury and value? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now first off, like always, we went ahead and popped the hood so we can take a look at what is underneath of it. So with the RDX, you continue to have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with 272 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque.
All models have a 10-speed automatic transmission, and new for 2024, we have standard SH all-wheel drive. That does mean we have less fuel economy figures this year, but this model's coming in at 23 miles a gallon combined.
Now, of course, we're going to go out for a test drive a little later on in this review. We're going to get things like our signature sound level reading. That way we can compare the RDX to its various competitors on carconfections.com. But first, let's close up the hood and take a look at the exterior. Now, one of the big things I like about the RDX is that you don't have to pay the big bucks to get that classy MDX look, because this really has a very similar vibe to the big brother MDX. Now, of course, you're going to find all the same signature elements, including the diamond pentagon grille up here in the front. And if you choose the A-Spec models, you're going to have the blacked out finish that goes around it, giving a very stealthy look, especially if you choose the full black exterior color like we have on today's model. The other signature Acura elements are on board as well, including our Jewel Eye LED headlights. These are standard on all trim levels, no matter which one you choose. Full LED with all of the lighting, as well as your LED fog lamps down here at the bottom for A-Spec and Advance. Now as we move around to the rear of the RDX, it continues to have that mini MDX appearance.
Yeah, and it looks really good. Now, one of the things we like to do here at Car Confections is we like to test out the taillights to see if all 3 elements are LED. So Drew hopped inside and we can see we have a LED brake light portion, really nice LED reverse light. However, we do have an incandescent turn signal. So I'm a little disappointed for a luxury vehicle. I do like all 3 elements to be LED, but hopefully Acura will redo this when the RDX is all new. Now, dropping down to the lower area, we do have a pretty aggressive diffuser with some mesh finish here on the A-Spec model. A-Spec is also going to get you these large circle exhaust outlets, which look really, really good. Otherwise, you will have trapezoidal exhaust outlets, and your tow rating is 1,500 pounds.
Now, there's no Type S version of the RDX. However, if you choose the A-Spec Advance, the top trim level, you get a wheel that looks very similar to the Type S models of the other Acuras in the lineup. These are 20-inch alloy wheels. As you can see, they have a special multi-spoke design, which I think looks really good. This is my favorite wheel, as a matter of fact, in the entire lineup of 19 and 20-inch options. Now coming up here, we do have A-Spec branding, and then this top-end model is going to have fully furnished mirrors, so we have blind spot monitoring, heating, power folding, and auto-dimming on both driver and passenger sides.
Now, in terms of the length, this vehicle comes in at 187.4 inches, and if you choose an A-Spec model, you're once again going to have blacked out elements in your window surrounds, which looks really good on a fully blacked out model like this right here. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, this RDX is safer than a helicopter mama, because you have all 4 active safety features as standard equipment on this RDX model. Additionally, if you choose the tech package and above, so the vast majority of models will also come with low-speed auto braking. But guys, there's a really nice cabin waiting for you on the inside, so let's check that out. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
Now let's move on to the interior. Of course, as you'd expect, you do have a standard smart entry system. This is the latest Acura key fob, nice square shape to this. You will find remote start built into the fob for the advanced trim levels. Now, getting inside is as easy as just reaching behind the handle. That's going to fold out the mirrors as well. And then take a look inside the interior Once again, you do have that kind of appearance of a miniature MDX. And I want to start off by talking about our seat and color choices. So as far as the materials are concerned, the base model will come with leatherette. Everything else is going to come with Milano leather. And then here with the A-Spec, we also have the Ultra Suede insert. So as you can see down through the center, you have the suede that's going to give you a little extra grip and a little visual contrast, especially if you choose one of the other colors besides for black, which include red or the orchid color. Now, as far as the seats are concerned, we also have the upgraded 16-way power adjusting seats, and we can make those additional adjustments versus the 12-way seats that are standard on all RDXs. Memory seats will be located right over there on the door trim. But let's go ahead and climb inside. When you climb inside, you do get a little sound effect and animation up there on the gauge cluster. And let's look around at the rest of the cabin materials. So coming over here with the door trim, first of all, we have leather over the armrest. You have the suede insert through the center section, and you'll notice real aluminum up here as well as on our speaker grills. Moving to the upper dashboard, nice soft touch plastic going through here. We have another suede insert, more aluminum and more leatherette running down through here for our knees to rest against. Overall, nicely done, and everything feels very solid. Now let's fire it up with the standard push button start. Now that we fired it up, let's dive into our gauge cluster. Now this is one of the older Acura models, so it is going to come with their more classic display. You have the 7-inch multi-function display in the middle, and then you've got the analog gauges. Cool white finish on them though for the A-Spec models. And then since we have the top-end A-Spec Advance, that's going to give you the advanced features on top of it, which are your head-up display. That's one of your big ones that you're going to see. Now, as we pull back to the steering wheel, I really like the way they have designed this steering wheel. It's flat bottom to kind of signify it's sportier. It also has the perforated leather here with a nice thick rim, and overall looks and feels very nice. As far as the wheel itself, it's going to be manual tilt and telescoping, and we also have steering wheel heating for Advance and A-Spec Advance. All right, let's turn over here to our interior storage and take a look at this. So there's a lot of storage things going on here with this RDX. First of all, we have our center console here, and we like to do our classic Car Confections donut test because that is our emblem. And this is going to fit 6 donuts inside of the center console because this is just going to be this section. However, there's more storage. If we slide that back, you're going to notice your 2 cup holders. You have another tray right here where you can stick some stuff, but the most storage is going to be floating over here in this console. We have this big open space. This is where you can stick a lot of loose objects. You can also stick your phone because you've got a wireless phone charging pad on all but the base model, and you have some power outlets down there as well. Now your shifter is floating above that, and it is of course the typical electronic style. Press D for drive, press again to activate your manual shift mode, and you do have paddle shifters on the steering wheel. R is for reverse, and when you go into reverse, this is going to bring up your, in this case, 360-degree camera system. So advanced models and the A-Spec Advance will get this 360 camera. Most other trims will have the standard version with front and rear parking sensors as well. As you can see, you've got both of those classic views. It's a little small, of course, because it's not taking up the entire display, but it's definitely still nice to have the 360 camera. Now, down below the shifter, you'll find your touchpad. This is for your infotainment system. We'll talk about that a little more in a second. And as you move up, you have the large drive mode controller, and you also have physical climate control. So standard dual zone automatic climate on all versions of the RDX. Very simple to use as you'd expect for full physical buttons. We also have automatic 3-stage heated seats as standard equipment on every single version. And A-Spec and above will come with 3-stage ventilation as well. And then above that, we have our physical volume knob for the audio system. So this top tier model will come with a 16-speaker ELS 3D sound system. And let's go ahead and give that a sample right now. Had to wait for a second there to let the bass drop, but overall this is a very nice sounding sound system. We're always very impressed by the ELS sound systems, and you always get bonus points for me if you give real metal speaker grills, which this definitely does have. All right, let's bring our attention up here to our main display. So unlike the MDX, this is going to be using a little bit of a smaller display. This is a 10.2 inch display. And as I was talking about earlier with the touchpad, this is not a touchscreen. So currently we don't have touch abilities on any Acura, and we don't have it here on the RDX either. So that means you will have to use this. Nevertheless, you do have some good features on board, including wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, and the top models are also going to get the navigation, which you see over there on the side panel. Now, before we move on, I am going to correct myself. The Integra actually does have a touchscreen borrowed from the Honda Civic. Nevertheless, let's move on. Auto dimming mirror, 3 HomeLink universal remotes, standard equipment. And here's one of the really nice things that is standard. You have a power panoramic sunroof. So even though this costs less than a lot of the competition, you get that standard sunroof as a standard feature.
Now, like we've said throughout this review, this RDX is all about practicality and giving a lot of value for your luxury crossover. And as far as the rear space is concerned, that trend is going to continue. We're coming in at 38 inches of legroom, 38 inches of headroom, which are very good leg and headroom figures for the segment. It's pretty much right on par with the vast majority of its rivals like GLC, BMW X3, Lexus NX, all of those vehicles. Now, I did go ahead and bring our ruler so I can measure how much knee space I have behind Drew's seating position. He's 5'8", I'm 5'9", and we're sitting at about 8 inches of knee space. So a lot of knee space. Additionally, my feet can slide up underneath the seat. However, I do want to point out the rear seats do not recline on this model, so you're kind of stuck in this configuration. Hopefully, you like it. Now, as far as features, we do have standard vents on all RDX models. We also have 2 USB-C ports, and you'll notice off to the side, which is great for a cool day like today. I like to toast my bottom, and we have heated rear seats, 3-stage on advanced trim levels, so advanced and A-Spec advanced. Now, if we fold down the center armrest, we do have 2 cup holders inside, and then as far as the door trim itself is concerned, nice one. We have soft touch on the top, some more Alcantara leather through here, metal speaker grills as well, and then we have some bottle storage down at the very bottom. Now, walking up to the tailgate, every RDX is going to have a power tailgate, and if you choose an advanced model, you will also have the kick ability. So you just quickly kick your foot under the bumper. I guess I didn't follow the instructions posted right there as far as how to open it. But as far as this area is concerned, once again, I'm very happy with what Acura is including here. About 29 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If I reach up and fold those down, we're going to be looking at 59 cubic feet of cargo capacity as a maximum with this RDX. Once again, very much on par with its main rivals, BMW X3, Mercedes GLC. It's even going to be bigger than some rivals like the Lexus NX. Now, we're not done yet because I do want to talk about this. We have quite a bit of underfloor storage. As you can see, this is at least another couple cubic feet. And if we lift that up, there's even more space up underneath of there. So lots of underfloor storage in this RDX. We also have a 12-volt power outlet. And let me go ahead and get my tape measure out to measure from the back of the driver's seat to the rear of the cargo area. We like to get all those measurements for you here at Car Confections. We're sitting at 72 inches of cargo length. And we are sitting at 41 inches wide. So a 72 by 41 cargo area. Hopefully that's useful for you if you're looking to haul something specific in your RDX. Well, guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 24 Acura RDX, and in this test drive, we're going to be talking about quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now, including getting our Car Confections signature sound level reading. But first, let's go ahead and start with a hard acceleration. Nice.
There's a quick jab at the accelerator. Obviously, we're a little foiled by the red light there, but I think it just demonstrates the immediate response that you get from this engine. That's one of the things that we always notice when we're behind the wheel of an RDX, is this is a very spunky, spiffy kind of powertrain. It's ready to go, and you don't have to wait for any turbo lag or anything like that. Now, let's recap a little bit, I guess, with the spec dump. This is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, same across all the trim levels, 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. Those are good numbers for the class.
Yeah, and I definitely think the torque really pushes you back in your seat when you're actually able to press that throttle down. Certainly feels very good for this segment.
Yeah, certainly a nice torque-rich feeling engine. Like Mason said, that torque does push you back in your seat. And I also want to talk about the other aspect of the powertrain, which really helps it to feel as fast as it does, and that is the 10-speed automatic transmission. Acura has done a great job with this transmission because it feels alive and awake. It's ready to go, like I said earlier. When you put your foot down, you get the immediate response with your downshift, and it just always kind of keeps it in the right gear, feels nice and smooth as well.
Yeah, and if you were paying attention, I did say that really the big thing for 2024 with this RDX is that you are getting standard SH all-wheel drive across all models this year. So previously they did have the front-wheel drive option as standard on the more basic trim levels. Now it's just going to be SH all-wheel drive exclusive, which I think honestly is a good thing because most people were opting for that anyhow. So Acura is now including that for all 24 RDXs.
Also, they've done some enhancement to the sound as well. You can kind of tell that they've deepened it up. So even though it's a turbo 4-cylinder, it actually sounds kind of like a V6 growl, you could say. Yeah,
I would say, namely, one of its main competitors, the Lexus NX, this sounds a lot more refined and better to me than that 2.4 turbo that you're getting in that model. This just has a lot more refinement. It feels more like a German 2-liter 4-cylinder as compared to other rivals. Now, I do want to take a second here to talk about your ride quality for the RDX because this is a luxury crossover after all. So you're probably very concerned about that. The RDX does a great job. There's nothing to be worried about. We just hit a bump in the road. It does a great job of soaking it up. The seats are very comfortable. And I do want to point out, if you choose an advanced model, so those higher end versions, they're actually going to have adaptive dampers. Now, what's that going to do? Well, that's actually going to help your ride quality. In addition, you're also going to have the ability to kind of adapt the drive modes and stuff depending on what you're doing to get you that sportier feel that a lot of you guys are wanting.
Right. The RDX really is one of the sportier options in the segment in terms of, your standard configuration. I actually have a distinct memory, I'm sure Mason remembers this as well, of going down a canyon back road in California when they first refreshed this model. We were testing it out in the West, and it really hustles great, especially when you kick it into sport mode or sport plus mode. You can firm up those dampers, get the tighter steering response, and you can really hustle it down a back road and actually have a surprising amount of fun.
I mean, it really is. Sport mode, I mean, it comes even more to life.
Yeah, this is one of those vehicles where you can actually tell a big difference between the different drive modes. I appreciate that. There's a lot of cars that's just like everything is exactly the same. Yeah, definitely a nice, tight, and responsive model. Yeah, very enjoyable. Let's get back into the normal mode here because it's time to get our sound level reading.
Yeah, going 55 miles per hour. All right, our official Car Confections sound level reading, very impressive figure, 55.9 decibels in this 24 RDX. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and go to carconfections.com, because on our website we've actually posted all of the sound level readings for all of this vehicle's competitors, as well as every vehicle that we've reviewed on the channel, which, believe me, is a lot of cars, so we can see how it compares. And as far as how that does compare in the segment, that's going to be around the middle of the pack in terms of quietest options. It's going to place it just a little bit above the Mercedes GLC, the all-new one that we tested out. And I do want to point out that if you choose the higher end models, Acura does include more sound deadening, so it's not entirely surprising that the RDX A-Spec that we tested out previously got a louder sound level reading. So if the quietest cabin matters the most to you, definitely go for the higher end versions of the RDX. And as far as your fuel economy is concerned, I do want to point this out. We're going to be sitting at 23 miles a gallon combined. Do be aware that your fuel economy for some of the models is going to decrease a little bit, just because it is all-wheel drive exclusive now instead of having that front-wheel drive option.
All right, time for the Slam Dunk and Airball. The Slam Dunk is easily going to be the value-packed package that this is. This continues just to be something that gives you a lot of features, a lot of luxury for a more affordable price than the competition. That's really kind of the RDX's secret sauce for all these years, and it continues for 2024.
And as far as the Airball is concerned, our least favorite thing is this display right here. It's 10 inches. It hasn't been updated to the newest, larger 12-inch display. It does have most of the features that you're looking for, but it's a pretty small display, and it's not touch is really my biggest issue with it. So certainly would like for Acura to update the technology here on the RDX. And lastly here, I do want to talk about your warranty as well. Acura does have a very good warranty. It's going to be 4-year 50,000 miles for your basic, 6-year 70,000 miles for your powertrain. Additionally, you're also going to get 2 years of complimentary maintenance. All right, let's go ahead and talk pricing for the 2024 RDX. Now, as you would expect with standard SH all-wheel drive, prices for the base models where that previously wasn't standard has risen quite a bit, between $2,000 and $3,000 for 2024. So we're now going to start at $44,000 for the base trim level, Tech $46,700, A-Spec $49,700, Advanced model $51,850, and A-Spec Advanced $53,850. Now, of course, we do have that fully loaded model, so we have the 24 A-Spec Advanced $53,850 plus our $1,195 destination. We're sitting at a grand total of $55,645 as tested today. Now, if you're a smart shopper and want to get the best deal on your new vehicle, the next place you're going to go to is carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, on our website, we have a tool that will connect you with local dealers in your area to get you that best price, as well as access to invoice pricing information, which is a fantastic tool for negotiating with dealerships. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description. Well, guys, that's going to be it for our in-depth review of the 2024 Acura RDX A-Spec Advance. If you found this video helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing and joining in on this Car Confections family, not only are you going to get access to a lot of really cool car reviews, you're also going to have a lot of fun, because we like to have fun on this channel. If you're already part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. Also, give us a follow on TikTok and Instagram, as well as a visit to carconfections.com. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.